You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
This is from Right Wing Watch as well. Mama, what were you doing when our America fell to tyranny?
How high is the water, Mama?
So this is Right Wing radio host and commentator Gina Loudon. Now, she was also speaking at CPAC on Saturday, and she's just she's a kook.
Another great thing that Phyllis Schlafly did as my mentor was introduce me to a woman named Kitty Worthman.
And Kitty Worthman, she treated me like a young girl.
She brought me into womanhood.
When it was raining out and my pert breasts were pressing up against my wet chemise.
We call that a Worthman original.
It's like suddenly got all fucking Lady Chatterley's lover up in here.
Does anybody else know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, like 4 people.
Yeah, like nobody in the crowd claps. You're just like, yay. I should clap, right? I should be clapping. No. The crowd says clap.
Yeah, she never made the big time. We never heard a whole lot about her. But when I talked to Kitty, I interviewed her.
She said meow. She rolled over and purred. She's an actual cat. I talked to my cat.
I actually had one of those fishing toys and we talked for hours and hours and hours.
You know, I got some of my best advice from Mr. Whiskers, too. Fucking ridiculous.
One time, and she told me how many of the things that Obama was doing looked exactly like the things that she saw happen in her native home of Austria when the Holocaust happened.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, just the Holocaust.
What did she say? What did she say? Oh, you know what? It looks like a lot like Vienna right during the Holocaust. There's people breathing air. There's men and women getting married. Like what?
Right.
What is it? What is it that he's doing? That harkens back to the Holocaust. Is he tattooing Jews with serial numbers? Is he gassing hundreds of people at a time? Does he have burial crews pushing bulldozers full of bodies into fucking ravines and covering them up? What the fuck is he doing that is Holocaust-esque? What the fuck is Obama doing? And then why haven't I seen it?
It's so funny because to get here, I have to drive about 35 miles every day to get to the studio, right?
Yeah, and there's piles of dead Jews along the highway.
And it just stinks of burning human hair the whole way. Obama's just like it's just like my native Austria. Nobody who survived the Holocaust could possibly look outside that window right now and say this looks anything like Austria during the Holocaust. Nobody with a shred of fucking honesty or decency in their body who lived through that could possibly be like, oh, look at those fucking people beating Jews in the street with truncheons.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, when I actually was on the bus today and they pulled off 3 Jews and they shot one and sent the other 2 running to go back to the ghetto to tell them they're coming next.
Remember when they just confiscated private property? No? No?
Remember when I lost 50 pounds and learned to play the piano?
After I met Kitty, I had nightmares, and I wrote about it in our book.
I wrote about it in my dream journal. My dream catcher didn't catch my nightmares. Stupid dream catcher! That's your job!
Thanks, Obama. The cats love the dream catcher though, because it's like all feathers, and they just want to. Kitty can't keep her paws off of it.
Every night I would go to sleep, and I would picture myself in a gulag, across from one of my children, with them asking me, Mama, what were you doing when our country fell to tyranny? Let me tell you something, my friends. Every moment, every step, every interview, every book I've written, everything I've done from the day I met Kitty Worthman has been so that I can answer that question. Should it ever arise 20 years from now and my child sits across from me in a gulag and asks me, Mama, what were you doing when our America fell to tyranny?
And I could look at him and say, well, I gave a speech once.
Right, yeah, right.
I mean, one time I wrote a book. So, I mean...
I thought and then we threw the book at the tyrannists.
Yeah, and then there was no tyranny, so it kind of didn't fall. And also, this isn't a gulag. This is the old folks' home you're visiting me at. So, I don't really know. Like, you're fucking... Like, seriously, we're talking about 20 years from now, Obama's gonna put you in a gulag?
Yeah, it's the long game.
20
dude.
years from now? What is he gonna be in 20 years? Like, he hasn't reached his final form yet?
If I've learned
What is he gonna be,
anything.
Mecha Godzilla? Like, what the fuck is Obama gonna turn into after the presidency? Admittedly, the most powerful post in the entire world. Where the fuck do you step up from that?
Well, Voltron?
Voltron? Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I can promise you this. Everyone sitting in this room, you're going to have an answer.
Yeah.
And your answer is also going to be a bunch of fucking made up, dreamy nonsense.
Yeah, first off, it's not going to happen. But second, your answer would be one time I went to a conference.
Right? Well, I showed up.
Great.
And then they had coffee break at about 11.
This one time I cheered for a speaker really loud.
And that's why, and if only the Jews had done that.
I know. If only the Jews had really gotten behind one of their speakers.
If only there had been masses of people watching someone speak.
I know.
And cheering loudly with great fervor. Then none of this would have ever happened.
The Nazis would have never gotten Nazi.
They'd have been like, right?
Fine.